The Sunset at Blue restaurant is a franchise of popular Canadian chain Sunset Grill and is located in the village at Blue Mountain Ski Resort in Ontario. While Sunset at Blue has proved a very successful venture thus far, there is plenty of room for improvement. Although it broke even in the first year of operations, the restaurant struggles with long customer waiting lines, lengthy table turnover rates, and protracted order processing queues. Our team's goal is to improve operational efficiency at Sunset Blue by reducing order processing time and guest wait time. This plan covers current conditions, the target conditions, a cause analysis, and our proposed improvements to help Sunset at Blue meet those goals. Currently, the Sunset at Blue restaurant operates with long wait times and slow table turnover rates. The restaurant offers a menu that contains a front flap, which is breakfast, and a back flap, which is lunch. According to the Beaten example, the total time that customers spend in the system is 73 minutes, and producing food from the back flap of the menu slows the kitchen staff's plate turnover by 3 minutes. Here we have made a flow diagram that visualizes our current process at Sunset at Blue. As you can see, 40 customers arrive per hour, and their processing time is 31 minutes. The restaurant has an average of 77 customers in service at one time, and they will each wait an average of 7.73 minutes with a single server working. Based on the given example, our current process is single server exponential service time, assuming there is only one server in the kitchen. Our design capacity with lunch menu items and without runners is 11 minutes per order. This is calculated by adding the 6 minutes of cook time plus the 5 minutes of waiting time without a runner. The bottleneck in this case is mainly due to extended processing time in the kitchen, caused by a high volume of chits in the kitchen at one time. The time that it takes to go through the queue of chits is causing a major bottleneck that we will go over in detail in our cause analysis. As a result of the long chit queue length, our goal is to reduce processing time, which is time from order to table, for each plate by 5 to 7 minutes, while also decreasing customer wait time, which is time of arrival to time seated, by 5 to 10%. Ultimately, these two goals work hand in hand to benefit the consumers by serving their orders quicker while helping the restaurant to decrease average table turnover time. As a result, customer satisfaction will increase and Sunset at Blue will be able to assist more patrons while limiting the negative effects of high demand periods. The underlying issue for the long total in-system time is the processing time at Sunset at Blue. The total processing time according to the Beaten example is 73 minutes from the time a customer sits down to the time they leave. The time it takes to get an order into the kitchen from the time a customer sits down is only 6 minutes, and it only takes 6 minutes on average to cook the meals outside of specialty lunch items. According to the example, it only takes customers 30 minutes to then finish their meal. This leaves the queue time and the time that it takes to get from the ready station to the customer as the main issues in the kitchen process, which accounts for 24 minutes of total time. There is a clear bottleneck once the orders get to the kitchen. It takes 31 minutes from the time a customer orders to the time they receive their food. This represents 42% of the total time spent in service. This is a significant amount of time considering the restaurant's branding as an affordable breakfast option with limited items to choose from. The volume of orders coming in is likely the root cause for the extended kitchen times. Even though each plate only takes 6 minutes, the kitchen often had 40 to 50 chits in process or waiting to be processed. The volume of orders also hindered the serving staff, leading to the prepared orders not getting to the customer as quickly as they should. Based on this bottleneck within the chit queue, we propose to hire runners in high demand periods and decrease the menu size by removing the back flap. Hiring a weekend runner will allow servers to focus solely on their tables and reduce the waiting time of food to table by 5 minutes. The runner will only cost $10 an hour and will only work busy days like the weekends, summer, and winter weekdays. The revenue generated from being able to serve more customers will outweigh the cost of hiring runners during busy times. Our proposed single food runner will cost us $70 per day. We have calculated the arrival rate of one customer every 2 minutes by dividing plates per day by processing time of 31 minutes. As stated earlier, hiring a runner would reduce processing time by 5 minutes to 5 minutes and 26 seconds. This would effectively reduce processing time. A reduction to the menu may only be a short-term solution to the wait and processing time issues, but an expected 3-minute reduction in processing time will help cooks quickly move through the chits in the queue. This will cause plates to finish more quickly, but with the addition of runners that should not pose an issue. Although the back flap accounts for 15% of sales, an increase in sales from the front flap will cover the loss in revenue from the cancellation of the back flap. Here we calculated our ROI in several steps by comparing processes with the way the restaurant is currently operating and again with our proposed solutions. First, we found the table turnover rate by dividing the total system operation time per day by the average time in system. You can see that with our proposed solutions, we increased the table turns per table by 0.9 per day. Next, we found the total customers per day by multiplying customers per table by our table turnover rates that we just calculated. With our solutions, Sunset at Blue will gain an additional 100 customers per day, which will lead to $879 in additional revenue per day, or $110 of additional revenue per hour. Multiplying this by the front flap's 70% margin, we arrived to about $77 per hour. Finally, we subtracted the cost of our runner, which would be $10, and in the end, we would receive an additional $67 of profit per hour. Here, we have made another flow diagram that visualizes the effect of our proposed solutions at Sunset at Blue. As you can see, there are still 40 customers that arrive per hour, but their processing time has been reduced to 23 minutes. The restaurant now has an average of 103 customers in service at one time, and they will each wait an average of 6.21 minutes with a single server working, which is around 1.5 minutes less than before. By hiring runners for high-demand periods and cutting out lunch menu items, Sunset at Blue will directly reduce average processing time by decreasing the chit queue length. In doing so, this will indirectly help minimize average table turnaround time and thus average patron wait time. To measure whether our solutions achieve the targets of a 5 to 7 minute reduction in plate processing time and a 5 to 10% decrease in customer wait time, Sunset at Blue could utilize two measurement methods. First, to validate the reduction in plate processing time, management can track the time from when an order is placed to when the food was delivered of a random sample of orders. By comparing the average of this random sample to the 31 minutes of current processing, Sunset at Blue can determine if the proposed changes had the desired effect. Second, to determine if customer wait time has decreased by 5% to 10%, management can hand cards that include the current time on it to patrons at the time of their arrival. Once the customers are seated, they'll hand the card back to the server, who will then record the current time on the card and compute the difference. Once management takes the average of a random sample of these cards and compares it to the typical average of a 20 to 25 minute wait, they can see if the target is achieved. However, these solutions are only two of many potential short-term fixes, meaning variability still exists. For example, if dropping lunch menu items triggers negative customer responses or does not reduce processing time, lunch items should be reinstated in the long run. In the end, consistent evaluations are necessary to ensure both customer satisfaction and continued profitability. While we rounded the arrival rate in previous slides to 40, this table is a more exact calculation of the differences of the processes at Sunset at Blue with our new solutions.